My hair is a mess and I don't know what to do about it. I don't know how to style my hair. Can't be bothered to learn, so that's my own fault. But today I have another mini message. The first one I did was a little while ago. I'm trying to do these a little more often. This will only be my second one, so bear with me. I heard this quote on K-Love one morning, and the guy said, "Don't pray for patience, pray for peace," and that made a whole lot of sense. However, today's message is going to be called "Don't Pray for Patience, Pray for Joy in the Waiting." Obviously these go hand in hand, it's the same thing, but I didn't want to be too matchy and I could do what I want because it's my video. And so one of the reasons I say don't pray for patience is that God will answer your prayers. I don't know how to talk today. I just cut out some footage of me struggling to speak. I am so tired, and I'm not here to complain, but this is gonna take a while for me to edit. Praying for patience is almost like asking God to make you wait longer. What I'm saying is, you will run out of patience praying to God for patience. However, if you pray for joy in the waiting, or even peace, God will show you the things to be joyful for. He will bring you joy, and that's a little bit better than praying for patience, simply because, like, He is joy and He is peace. Waiting is difficult for the majority of us, but bringing joy and bringing peace is kind of what God is the best at. Like in Luke 2, verse 14, this is when Jesus was being born. It says, "Glory to God in the highest, and on earth peace, goodwill toward men." Another thing is, patience can be lost. There is a limit. God is joy. So if you ask God for joy, there is no limit because God has no limits. See what I'm trying to say here? Like I said, I'm tired, so it might not all be coming together the way I'm hoping. One of the verses that I look at the most, I even have it printed out and next to my desk at work, is Psalm 23. And in the last part of it, it says, "Surely goodness and love will follow me all the days of my life." David wrote that, and he was 100% confident that no matter what, goodness and love, also known as God, would be with him all the days of his life. The good days and the bad ones. A long road trip feels a heck of a lot longer when all you focus on are the negatives. It's too hot, you don't know where you're going, your phone is dead, your sibling has the aux and a really bad taste in music, your other sibling is sitting next to you and they haven't showered in a while, and worst of all, there's no snacks. I could bet you that even with all those things going on, if you found something else to focus on, like pretending that there's a little guy running on all the cars, I know you do it, I do it too, the time might go by faster. And I'm also gonna break real quick and remind you that negativity and worry and anxiety do not come from God. Now, I want you to imagine the Exodus. If you are unfamiliar, it's basically when Moses led the Israelites out of Egypt, out of slavery. Imagine the Exodus. Okay, there's Moses, there's thousands of complaining Israelites, and nothing but desert. Now, bringing back to one of my points from earlier, imagine the lack of showers, just for a sec. You'd probably think that that felt like the longest road trip ever. And it was. It took them 40 years to get to where they needed to go. Some people who started the trip never made it to the end, and not even Moses was able to make it to the final destination, but at least God provided snacks. In reality, God provided so much more than just snacks. He freed them from slavery, He guided them through the Red Sea, and He provided for them numerous times throughout their journey. Unfortunately, a common reoccurrence with the Israelites was their impatience. Some even said that they wished they were back in Egypt or would have been better off as literal slaves. And God had so much better planned for them, and yet they chose to focus on the negatives, complained, doubted, and even turned to false gods for a quick solution. I'm not saying that 40 years in the desert is a walk in the park, because it's not. It's a walk in the desert. Wherever the walk was, 40 years is a very long time, longer than I've been alive. I'm not saying that people have the ability to just turn off their anxieties and worries, but my point is, God had a plan for them. We are God's children, and He doesn't tell us no or not yet for no reason. He knows what's best for us because He is our Father. It's not easy to trust in Him when you're only focusing on the things you're missing out on. It might be a little easier when you try to remember who it is that's looking out for you and who's on your side. It's literally the guy who made you, so just saying. And God didn't forget about the Israelites for 40 years. He was there with them the entire time. He had to do a little work inside of them first to get them ready for what He had planned for them, which was the promised land. And I cannot stress this enough. He provided snacks. If Moses and the majority of the Israelites had focused on more of the positives throughout their journey, maybe the journey wouldn't have taken 40 years in the first place. You know, it's just something to think about. I mentioned earlier that Moses never made it into the promised land, and that's because he lost his trust in God and decided to do things his own way. You can read the story yourself. The consequence of what he did was for him to not be able to enter the promised land. And when they were checking out the promised land, when they were almost there, they sent 12 men into the land to check it out. And 10 out of 12 came back with negative reports. Now imagine if all 12 of those men had only focused on the bad things, they probably never would have gone to the promised land for another 40 years. If all we did was focus on the negatives and the things hindering us in this world, and even in just our own personal lives, we would be overwhelmed with discouragement. You might even be able to think of someone off the top of your head that can only find things to complain about, and they're miserable. Finding joy in the little things not only improves our moods, but also improves our faith in God. It will take some work and some habit building, but one day it'll be easier to see the positives than the negatives. It's easier for us to believe in God and trust in God when we can see Him all the time, even in the little things. He's not all the way up in the sky. He's not light years away. He's here with us. And that's why pizza exists. So the next time you find yourself tapping your foot, waiting for your next blessing, take a look back at all the blessings that God has already given you and trust that He has even better planned. And that is the end of my little spiel. I will continue to do these, I think, once every other week. Don't hold me to that because I can only do so much on my own. All things are possible with God. If you have any prayer requests, I have a Google form link in my channel description. You can check it out, and I will add your prayer to my prayer list. Bye.